Hi everyone, it's Megan, and this week we are doing another research topic on an American historical event. And this week I will be talking to you about the Battle of Bunker Hill. I got my information from the Smithsonian Magazine and also the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, the Battle of Bunker Hill is very important in American history because it was the first major battle of the American Revolutionary War. And so the Battle of Bunker Hill is also known as the Battle of Breed's Hill. It took place in Charleston or Charlestown. I'm not sure how you say that, but it's part of Boston today. And so the American troops or colonists or militiamen, they were call them any of those really, they decided to occupy a high hill to gain an advantage point over the British troops. And so there were two high hills in the area. One was Bunker Hill and the other was Breed's Hill. Bunker Hill had the higher elevation, so they would have a greater advantage point if they occupied Bunker Hill. However, if they went to occupy Breed's Hill, it is the lower of the two hills, and it made it so very easy for the British troops to surround them, and take over. So approximately, it was about 1,000 American troops who were led by Colonel William Prescott. They were supposed to go and occupy Bunker Hill, but instead they ended up occupying Breed's Hill. No one's really entirely sure why. So on the night of June 16th, 1775, Colonel William Prescott led his troops to Breed's Hill, and overnight they built a dirt fort. And then in the morning, on June 17th, 1775, they had quickly put together a breastwork, which I did not know what a breastwork was. So I looked it up, and I do have to look at my notes for this one. A breastwork is a temporary fortification, often an earthwork or made of earth, which is thrown up to about breast height to provide protection. And so the American soldiers, troops, they threw all of this together, and so they were up all night doing all this hard work, and they didn't really get a whole lot of sleep. They didn't really have time to eat or do anything, really. And so General Thomas Gage of the British Army led about, I think it was 22 or 2,300 British soldiers to Breed's Hill. And so the American troops had waited until the British were about 50 yards away before they started to openly start firing and aiming for the British troops. And so the British troops had to fall back and advance about 2 or 3 times before they finally were able to start pushing the Americans and capturing them. And so when they did this, the Americans finally started to retreat. And so the Americans, we lost that battle. Now, even though we lost the battle, it helped to encourage the Americans to actually fight for their independence. And so it was a very, very big deal in the American Revolutionary War, even though we lost. So at the end of the day, the Americans, we lost about 450 troops, soldiers, or militiamen, and out of about 1,000, and then the British lost over 1,000 of their soldiers in this battle, and that was a pretty big deal. Even though we lost, it was a big deal, considering that the American colonists were just everyday people, that they were unorganized, they lacked in leadership. I mean, there were colonels and generals and everything, but it was definitely a big deal. It helped to teach us to organize and learn how to follow directions. But yeah, so it was a big deal, and yeah, it was that's about it. But I found it very interesting, and I hope you did too. Have a nice night.